Of TacoBytes, coming to you live from somewhere, nowhere, Newark Airport on our way to Brussels for ECC. I want to shout out to everyone joining us on LinkedIn, Player One Taco, YouTube, 0x degens, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter video, Telegram, Rumble, Kick, on-chain via Solana, thanks to Soul Media Tech, and on-chain via Base, thanks to Unlonely. Never be lonely again. And I want to, for those that are not joining us on Twitter, I want to give a huge shout out to my co-host, Miss Metamona. GM. She is sending the hearts, so she might not be able to speak right now. She's sending more hearts. That means that maybe if you are listening, she's sending me hearts. That's it. But it has been an amazing day of travel. Spent the last 3 days traveling from Dallas to New York because when you're going across the world, why not go halfway across the United States via car? That sounds like the best idea. Oh my gosh, this was a hard trip. Normally it's a very easy trip, but this one was hard. But there was a lot to cover over the last couple days as we get ready. I do have to make some corrections from last night's stream. I was highly distracted because there was a lot of deer on the side of the road when you were streaming live at 11:30 at night on traveling on the highway at 90 miles an hour. You might be distracted, to say the least. So two things I want to recover from yesterday was the Chevron deference, also known as the Chevron defense, which was overturned, which changes how Title II can be applied to federal agencies, not regulators, but federal agencies. The regulators are within the agencies, as the agencies' rule books may or may not have governance over the things that they're trying to say they have control over by Chevron defense, because the way the rule was written was that if Congress has not written a clear legislation and ruling on it, then the agency's standard applies, the standard or rule book. And we've seen how that has been thrown about and applies in one situation but doesn't apply in another. It opens up a whole new can of worms, especially since now we've seen an amicus curiae being filed by the same Solicitor General, highest court attorney at one point, that won the Chevron defense overturning case, also filed an amicus curiae motion, which is in support of motion. We've seen a lot of that both in like the SEC versus Coinbase and SEC versus Ripple happen. But now he's also stating that the regulators of the Federal Bank and Federal Reserve don't have the exact authority over Custodia Bank, as I had mentioned one time yesterday. I think I called it Cordia Bank, and I want to apologize for that. Caitlin, please do not murder me for that. You are an amazing person in the space, and I apologize. Custodia has been your bank dream for a long time. And as we've seen, federal regulators are attempting to stop a state chartered bank, which normally should be carte blanche accepted for a FedNow account, but we've seen that change starting around, as the amicus curiae said, around 2015, and that was when the same time that BIT licenses in New York were approved. So is there any correlation? We don't yet know, but seeing how the Chevron defense or Chevron deference has been now overturned, it opens up an entire can of worms. So for those that are coming to ECC, those that are somewhere in an airport right now, or those that are listening later because you are not on the internet, you are out touching grass and you are in America, or you're a veteran, or you're currently serving overseas somewhere, happy 4th of July. Even if you ain't an American, it is a day of celebration. It is a day of birth, rebirth, and why not fly to another country on our 4th of July? Because let me tell you, flights are really cheap sometimes. Not always the case, but sometimes, and in this case, totally was. So we have Metamona as the co-host. She is in an airport too. and she has the robots. That means she may or not be able to connect. Let's see if she can. No, Metamona is also traveling to Brussels. So we might actually be able to do a TacoBytes live. And I feel really bad. You guys should follow Metamona. If you're not following Metamona, and it is Metamona _ because that's how you differentiate the real from the fake. But she's in an airport and she is flying to Brussels as well. And there are degens all over the world that are in an airport right now. And I thought, what better thing than to take 30 minutes out of our day and talk about airport and how to onboard people while you're at an airport. For me personally, what I do is I have a whole bunch of free airdrop cards from the one and only great Hosky team. And let's see if I have one here right now. I do. Maybe in my Magic Passport I have one. Let's see here. Yes. So to the first person that sees this QR code, there's a wallet, and there is anywhere from $500 to $500 worth of Cardano and Cardano tokens. So I hope that you have fun with that. And just to prove that no one else gets this QR code, just you, let's tear it up and throw it away. But it is these QR codes that I like to hand out, and I like to give out to people that are interested in crypto, but they don't know where to start. And what's really been funny is I've had people, they're like, well, what do I do next? I've seen one guy, he got a $100 airdrop, and he was like, well, how do I get this in the money? And I gave him some simple steps like Coinbase, MetaMask, and his Cardano wallet, and said, here's the breadcrumbs. If that's really worth something, that is really worth $100. Let's, see you go, how are you going to work to get that? And money really incentivizes people, which is a really interesting thing. And so I love working with like the staff at locations. So here, like, staff are paid to be nice to you, to start conversations, to check in, see how your day's going. So I do the opposite. I see how their day is going. Instead of just making it about me, I check in with them, and that sort of opens up the conversation. Oh, what do you do? Where are you going? Where are you from? And I'd say, I'm in blockchain, I'm in AI, I'm working in Web3 security, and I'm helping launch a chain and an index fund on chain. And they're like, oh, I've heard about these cryptos. How do I get some? What do I do? I just don't know who to ask. And I'm like, my name is Taco. Now let me tell you something. And that's sort of where we go. So that is sort of one of the fun ways that I find how to onboard others. There is other ways to incentivize others to onboard them into blockchain as well. Coinbase has a referral program. And what's really cool with Coinbase is that there's a learn and earn reward system built into it. So people don't even have to put in their bank account details. They can then join Coinbase and learn about crypto and get paid in it. So it's one of those fun things that you can teach others that have that, that curiosity. Like, hey, in like 1 to 3 minute little bits, you can learn a little bit, and it's yours completely. It doesn't cost you a thing, And so there's those ways that you can also get people on that journey and that path of them on the blockchain. Now, what we see with big events like ECC, I'll tell you, the ECC event calendar this year is off the charts. Last year, there was a lot. The year before, there was like 3 to 4 events a day, and I thought that was a lot. I'm used to going to ECC, going and sitting in a room for 8 hours, listening to people talk, and then go and talking to some booths, go back to the hotel, and then 2 hours later, go to some lounge from like 8 to 2 and then like cafe 2 to 4 and then start over and like just talk dev talk. Now it's turned into a huge event. And what's really cool is Polkadot Decoded is also happening. That's going to be an amazing time. Monday is DEAI Day. I'm going to actually be a speaker there, which I'm really honored and excited to do. So I want to give a huge shout out to the entire decentralized AI community. There is a lot of events going on in the decentralized AI community, but the ecosystems that I am in, the ecosystem that I am part of is Morpheus and Lifted Initiative, and we're in cahoot partnerships with 6079, Morpheus, Lumerin, Hyperbolic, Wire Network, Venice AI, just a Sapien, and a ton more. So it is, oh, and my favorite right now, Noun Space. Got to check out the hottest CEO on the block, Tom. Noun Space, Tom, pretty hot. He's pretty thin too, you know, comes in at like, you know, quarter of an inch. But that is what we have going on. As you can see, I am using the brightest LED light on the face of the planet as we are doing this broadcast live. And you get to see all of the other United guests here at the Polaris Lounge with me. United has really good lounges in the States. They don't have so many lounges outside of the United States, which is an interesting thing. But this is a great place, you know, where you can make cool friends. And if you're wearing a shirt like this, you sort of stand out. People come and talk to you, and you get to give away crypto. You get to start those conversations. So as the year as it is, rather than you going and blowing your fingers up, I'm going to do this one more time. I already did one. Let's do a second one. Anywhere from $5 to $500. If you already got the first one, or if you got another one, I ask that you please not grab this one. Let someone who hasn't gotten this QR code yet get it. But as you can see, there is a QR code, and I have had people come to me all the time and say that they have gotten it, and I am so happy for them. So that is one of the coolest things that we've gotten to see time and time again. So when we get to give away crypto, that's sort of the funnest time of the day. And I hope that you guys have some fun when you are around ECC or wherever you're at in the world today for 4th of July. It is a momentous holiday in the United States, and it is an interesting take on the rest of the world, how the rest of the world views Americans. So if you are American and you are elsewhere in the world, or you're an American, just don't be a fucking dick today. Don't be. Have fun, be safe, but don't be a dick any day. There is the onus and responsibility on our shoulders to carry ourselves well, and especially in blockchain. We live under a layer of brandness where people know us only by certain things, but everyone knows us by those things. Everyone in the world knows me as Taco. Even my condo paperwork says Taco on it. And this is one of those things to where we get to continue our brand and continue and build new relationships. So I want to wish everyone an amazing happy 4th of July. And I want to end this space as we end every space the same way. I want to thank everyone for joining us on episode 681, Road to ECC, Airport Degens. And thank you for joining us for TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen. And I want to shout out to Metamona for being co-host for a minute. I'm sorry she was not able to connect. She is an amazing woman, and hopefully we get to connect. Well, no, not hopefully. I know we're going to be connecting at ECC. So we will see everyone tomorrow. And till then, stay thirsty. But as always, we end with two things: our words of wisdom and the greatest worst knock joke on the face of the planet. And our words of wisdom are always the same: closed mouth cannot be fed, and you cannot feed a closed mouth. Meaning, if no one knows you're looking for opportunity can never come and knock it. If opportunity does come knocking and no one answers, it's going to keep And with that, I want to give everyone a shout out. All my love to Liam, and happy 4th of July. And we will see everyone tomorrow. And we end with the greatest worst knock-knock joke on the face of the planet. Are you ready for it? We've told it 680 times. Knock, knock. Who's there?